All right, you're live.
All right, well, hello, everybody. I'm James Miller. I'm owner-operator of Swim WV. And before we get started with the meet today, I wanted to, just in case you didn't catch the girls' meet earlier, and you don't really know exactly how this meet setup works, what happens is it's a circle seating setup. So you'll notice that you'll always have someone like way ahead, and then you'll have someone second and third, fourth. That's because it's seated. It's circle seated. So first place goes in the third heat, second place, third place, and it just goes in that order over and over like a circle. And so what this does is it gives everyone an equal opportunity. And then what ends up happening is the top 12 from today of all the 24 times, top 12, all three heats for each event, they will qualify for finals tomorrow. The top 6 get to go to the medal finals, and then 7 through 12, they get to go in consolation finals. And what happens in consolation finals is the meet will start, they get to hop in, and they swim, and then we stop and we have a parade, and we have music, and you have someone from your team, they carry it around, and they carry the sign, and you go all the way around it. And they introduce you really slowly. It's a very intense moment, and you get a medal. That's why I call it the medal round. You get a medal like the Olympics. And then even whenever you're done, you get to stand on the Olympic platforms when you're done. So it's kind of an awesome experience for that. So in case you missed it earlier, 80, I pointed this out on the Facebook page, but I'll point it out again. 89% of the top 6 seeds for the girls, they are also in the medal round, 89%. Coming in, George Washington had about a 20-ish point lead. It has dwindled down to about a 3-point lead on the girls' side. And then there was some really good swims from, I believe it was Brooke and Huntington and a few other schools. So there was a Morgantown, and there was a couple other schools that had really good swims earlier. So they helped their seeding go up. I would be remiss if I missed out Huntington. And then Buchanan Upshur, that was the 5th one. So those 5 schools, for the girls' side, they had a really good meet. Even though there is no point scored today, they helped themselves so much that they actually are projected to get 10 more points than they would have earlier. Now, on the guys' side, today, this is very close. The top 5 teams are separated with 20 points. So as I told you earlier, coming in, George Washington had a 20-point lead over their second place team. In this meet today, 20 points separates 1st through 5th. So the teams that you're looking for today, you got Bridgeport, you got Parkersburg South, Huntington, Robert C. Byrd, and Parkersburg. All of them are actively vying for the spot. So the race today, what you're trying to do today when you swim is you're trying to be the person that finishes 6th and not 7th. Because what happens is when you are in the medal round, no matter if you're the 6th place person, if you go much slower than the person in the other finals, you're still finishing with 6th place points. Just like if you're 7th place and you end up having the best time, you end up beating the person that finishes 1st, you also will finish 7th place. So that's what today is all about. It's making sure that you do what you got to do to be. If you are in the top 6, you are securing yourself in the top 6. And so that's really what the race you're looking for. Also, what we're going to be looking for today, it's not necessarily going to be the standouts today. So obviously Bruce Keener is going to have a good meet today, and Henry Shields and Frank McCutcheon and those people from Frank McCutcheon's from University, Henry Shields is from Huntington, and Bruce Keener is from Bridgeport. Those three are going to have an amazing meet. But the real race is who are the number 2s? What are the number 2 swimmers on the team? How are they going to finish today? Because those number 2 and number 3 swimmers are going to be the ones that determine who is going to win the state championship or who's going to be in 5th place. So with that being said, we're going to start this meet here in a few minutes. And I believe there's going to be a national anthem at any time. They usually don't tell us. They usually just start playing the national anthem.
Right. When we see all the swimmers stand up, we'll know we need to do it too.
And just like we did earlier today, I will be updating the projected standings as we go. We'll read out who's in the heats and lanes. We'll make sure we do that for you. But we're going to focus a lot on the swimming today, and then tomorrow you'll get the full commentary. All right, I guess we are going to start with the 200 medley relay. I guess we did a national anthem when the whole meet starts as opposed to each session. Oh, scratch that. We're going to do the national anthem right now. All right, what a beautiful national anthem by Preston Householder of Morgantown High School. I had to double check who was the singer there.
Yep. Well, we're going to get started with event 2, the boys 200-yard medley relay. There will be 3 heats to every event today. Heat 1 is going to have Hurricane in lane 2, Washington lane 3, Parkersburg lane 4, Cabell Midland lane 5, Spring Mills in lane 6, and Capitol in lane 7.
And you can feel it a little different. This meet does have a little bit more excitement. Lots of cheering. You're going to hear lots of cheering around us here today. All right. And again, the goal here, top 6. Currently, the favorites here would be Parkersburg. They're seated 3rd overall. And Cabell Midland, they're seated 6th overall.
I know.
All right. So backstroke leg is first, then breaststroke, butterfly, and freestyle for this 200 medley relay.
Again, we have Hurricane in lane 2, Washington lane 3, Parkersburg lane 4, Cabell Midland lane 5, Spring Mills lane 6, and Capitol in lane 7.
Looks like Bradley Boyd of Hurricane is taking the lead. All right. And what a change just in one dive. It looks like Ian Sasson of Parkersburg takes over the lead. And we got Spring Mills Holden Marsh holding second. And this is where Cabell Midland now comes back to second with Washington right behind at number 3. And it looks like we did get a DQ on this race.
Any idea what it was?
It looks like, whenever you do a freestyle leg, whenever you dive, you got to make sure that you do not go more than 3/4 of the way. And it looks like somebody made it almost to the wall on their freestyle and their dive. And so it looks like that's what the call is.
Okay. Okay, in Heat 2, we're going to have Winfield in lane 2, Morgantown lane 3, George Washington lane 4, Parkersburg South lane 5, Jefferson in lane 6, and Musselman in lane 7.
Again, the top 2 seeds look, and they're seated about 1 second apart. That's George Washington and Parkersburg South. George Washington is the 2nd overall seed, and Parkersburg South is the 5th overall seed. But their relay splits from regionals were about 1 second apart. Looks like they're... as they get the DQ sheet ready for that race. That's what the little pause is.
Again, we'll have Winfield in lane 2, Morgantown lane 3, GW lane 4, Parkersburg South lane 5, Jefferson lane 6, Musselman lane 7.
Looks like we got Carter Redelman of Morgantown with the lead off the start. But it looks like Quade Harris and Carter Redelman neck to neck on the backstroke leg. And looks like it's a three-way race right now. Morgantown, George Washington, and Parkersburg South. Looks like Landon Fowler of Parkersburg South is pulling ahead, with Miller Mullins and Preston Householder of Morgantown and George Washington right behind. Parkersburg South is with a commanding lead. With Grant Rodnauer of Washington, or George Washington, catching up. And Caleb Seal of Morgantown right behind. With about a 3.5 second drop on that relay is Parkersburg South. But what is pretty amazing is it looks like this heat has a lot of the faster times. Morgantown just dropped 4 seconds. George Washington just dropped a second and a half. Parkersburg South just dropped 3.5 seconds. If this is a sign of things to come, it's going to be a good meet today.
Yep. Heat 3 of 3, we'll have Brook in lane 2, Elkins in lane 3, Bridgeport lane 4, Huntington lane 5, Buchanan Upshur lane 6, and University lane 7.
Currently, Parkersburg South and George Washington are first and second. Then you have Parkersburg third and Cabell Midland fourth with one more heat to go. Again, the goal, get in the top 6. And Henry Shields of Huntington with the big lead in backstroke.
We apologize, the time camera is frozen. We're going to try to improve that while we watch here.
Reese Allen. And I apologize, it was actually Bruce Keener that had the big lead, not Henry Shields. Henry Shields was second. And looks like Huntington and Buchanan Upshur vying for second, neck to neck. But it looks like Luke Atkins of Huntington is pulling ahead. And everybody, again, these time drops today. So, I mean, you just 3.5 seconds. You got 2.5 seconds for Bridgeport time drop. You got 3.5 seconds for Huntington. You've got almost a 6.5 second drop for Buchanan Upshur. It's looking like Bridgeport, Huntington, Parkersburg South, George Washington, Buchanan Upshur, and Parkersburg will be in the medal rounds. So that is Bridgeport High School, Bridgeport, Huntington, and Buchanan Upshur of that heat. Looks like they will be going on to the medal round, as will be Parkersburg South, George Washington, and then Parkersburg.
Our next event's going to be the boys 200-yard freestyle, event 4. In lane 1, we'll have Corbin Peters. Lane 2, Morgan Miller. Lane 3, Ethan Bryant. Lane 4, Preston Bennett. Lane 5, Quade Harris. Lane 6, Lucian Baumgartner. Lane 7, Ryan Spears. And lane 8, Ishan Hattie.
And again, just so if you're wondering why we're waiting a little bit, usually you get about a 5 or 10 minutes from the time that you swim your event to your next event. So a lot of the people in the medley relay are in the 200 freestyle relay, or in the 200 freestyle individual event. So that's why there's a slight little time gap here. They try to make sure that nobody has to swim quicker than 5 minutes, so that way you get good races and you're more energized as you go. Usually the meet officials do a wonderful job of going through each of the heat sheets and making sure that nobody swims quicker than the 5 or 10 minutes. Yep. And here shortly, I think I'll have who will make it to the consolation finals of the 200 medley relay. All right. So just to recap, Bridgeport seated first, going into the to the medal round. Huntington right behind them, second. Parkersburg South with a 4-second drop, third. George Washington also going to the medal round. Buchanan Upshur and Parkersburg High School. Going to the consolation finals, Morgantown High School, Cabell Midland, Elkins, Washington, Spring Mills, and Brook.
In lane 1, we have Corbin Peters. Lane 2, Morgan Miller. Lane 3, Ethan Bryant.
All right, looks
lane
like
4,
it's evenly
Preston
matched
Bennett.
for the first 5 hopping into the water.
Quade Harris, lane 5. Lucian Baumgartner, lane 6. Ryan Spears, lane 7. Ishan
It looks
Hadi,
like Quade Harris of Parkersburg South and Preston Bennett battling it out, with Preston Bennett right now having the slight edge. Ethan Bryant of Wheeling Park and Morgan Miller of John Marshall right behind. Looks like Preston Bennett's starting to have a little bit of separation there. Looks like Ethan Bryant's also having a little separation for third place. With Morgan Miller and Lucian Baumgartner are rounding out the top 4. All right, Preston Bennett looks like he's going to take this one easily. And Quade Harris. Both of them with a 2-second time drop, both Quade and Preston Bennett.
In Heat 2, we're going to have Levi Parker in lane 1, Grant Broadhurst lane 2, Lake Embry in lane 3, Frankie McCutcheon in lane 4, Mason DeChannel in lane 5, Keon McClure in lane 6, Jackson Howe in lane 7, and Will Angus in lane 8. And it does look like we have a scratch in lane 2. Grant Broadhurst from Fairmont Senior does not appear he's going to be swimming.
It looks like Frank McCutcheon has a slight lead. All right, looks like Frank McCutcheon's still about ready to separate himself with a full body length ahead of Mason T. Chanel of Bridgeport. And Keon McClure. Keon McClure and Luke Embry rounding out the top 4. Does look like Luke Embry is taking just a slight lead over Keon McClure of Huntington. And it looks like Frank McCutcheon's going to win this one easily, win this heat easily. There's about a half-second drop on that one for Frank McCutcheon.
In Heat 3, we're going to have Matt Bandler in lane 1, Ethan Waldeck in lane 2, Ethan Metz in lane 3, Henry Shields lane 4, Abram Bias in lane 5, Caden Megan in lane 6, Connor Roberts lane 7, and Christopher Young in lane 8.
We're not trying for that.
And it looks like currently Preston Bennett is seated first as of right now, as Frank McCutcheon is right behind him. Then it looks like it's Quade Harris and Mason T. Chanel. Ethan Bryant is on the outside looking in here. And look at Henry Shields taking off with a lead. And looks like we've got Abram Bias right behind. Abram Bias and Ethan Metz, neck to neck. Abram Bias having a slight lead off of that turn. Abram Bias separates from Ethan Metz off that turn. Right behind Ethan Metz, we got Caden McGon from Robert C. Byrd. If Ethan can nail this turn, he might keep this third place. But Caden McGon's coming strong. Henry Shields wins this one easily with Abram Bias right behind.
Next event is going to be the boys 200-yard IM. In Heat 1, you'll have Isaac Wetzel in lane 1, Jacob Donnelly in lane 2, Ian Sasson in lane 3, Nick Lugo lane 4, Cardi Ramsey in lane 5, Landon Fowler lane 6, Garrett Colvin lane 7, and Corbin Peters in lane 8.
And it looks like in the medal round for the 200 freestyle, it looks like we're going to have some semblance in order between Preston Bennett, Quade Harris, Frankie McCutcheon, Mason T. Chanel, and then Henry Shields and Abram Bias. And there is Nick Lugo with a pretty commanding lead so far. Looks like Cardi Ramsey of Parkersburg and Landon Fowler of Parkersburg South right behind. All right. Ian Sasson coming on. But Carter Ramsey still holding second pretty strong with Nick Lugo about 2 body lengths ahead. But this stroke is Ian Sasson's stroke, as you'll see later in the 100-yard breaststroke. Cardi Ramsey still holding a lead. But now Ian Sasson and Landon Fowler are neck to neck. With now Ian Sasson taking the lead. And now it's a race for the finish of second place, as Nick Lugo is going to win this one easily. All right, looks like Landon Fowler's coming on strong, but here comes Cardi Ramsey. And it looks like Cardi Ramsey is going to finish second, Ian Sasson third, and Landon Fowler fourth. Nick Lugo is a little excited that he dropped his second and a half. Ian Sasson with a 6-second drop.
Heat 3 is going to see Killian Coster in lane 1, Zach Ribas in lane 2, Reese Allen in lane 3, Randy Keener in lane 4, Noah Segrist in lane 5, Aiden Riley in lane 6, Zach Faltzgraff in lane 7, and Chaz Frizzell in lane 8.
And then I have for you, as they're getting started, Ethan Metz of Parkersburg will be going to the consolation finals of the 200-yard freestyle. Caden McGon, Robert T. Bird, going Ethan Bryan of Wheeling Park, Luke Embry of Morgantown, Jackson Howell of Robert T. Bird, and Keon McClure of Huntington, all going to the consolation finals. And this heat, it looks like Bradley Boyd takes a slight lead over Matthew Smith of Charleston Catholic. With Ricky Valentine and Preston Householder. Still looks like Bradley Boyd has a pretty commanding lead so far. Matthew Smith still second. With Preston Householder and Ricky Valentine third and fourth. Coming on strong is Adam Fubio of Robert C. Bird. And it looks like it's going to be a race for fourth place. And it looks like Bradley Boyd cruises to first place. It's a Preston Howell Solar third, Adam Fubio fourth.
Apologize for the mix-up last time, reading Heat 3 instead of Heat 2. But this time for Heat 3 for real, you're going to have Matt Bandler in lane 1, Ethan Waldeck. Wait, that's wrong. Hold on. Killian Coster lane 1, Zach Ribas lane 2, Reese Allen lane 3, Randy Keener lane 4, Noah Segrest lane 5, Aiden Riley lane 6, Zach Paltzgraf lane 7, Chaz Frizzell lane 8.
Looks like Randy Keener. Noah Segrist right behind. It looks like Reese Allen and Noah Segrist really neck to neck for second place. Right behind him, Zach Rebus of University. Looks like Noah Segrist taking a lead on the backstroke leg. With Reese Allen and Aiden Riley rounding out the top four. All right, Noah Segrist still with a big lead for second. Reese Allen third. And then kind of close between Rebus of University and Aiden Riley of Sissonville. It'll all come down to the freestyle leg.
Event 8 is going to be the boys 50-yard freestyle. In lane 1, Alex Tracy. Lane 2, Will Rains. Lane 3, Griffin Biggs. Lane 4, Luke Adkins. Lane 5, Jackson Dirth. Lane 6, Bill Triplett. Lane 7, Grant Shield. And lane 8, Caleb Satterfield.
And after the 50-yard freestyle, there'll be a break. And then during that break, I will update you guys on the tight race for the top 5. Looks like Luke Adkins. Oh, but that turn was able to get Jackson Dirth the lead. And I don't think Jackson Dirth is going to relent. Looks like it's going to be Dirth and Atkins.
Big swim for Alex Tracy out in lane 1.
Yes, absolutely.
Heat 2 is going to have Caden Ondrako in lane 1, Danny Anderson lane 2, Carter Zuliani in lane 3, Jacob Howe lane 4, Grant Ridenour in lane 5, Christopher Schumacher in lane 6, Justin Gottlieb lane 7, and Josh Levitt in lane 8.
And just so you're aware, Randy Keener, for the 200-yard IM, he's 1 second away from Tim Phillips, who many people consider a major legend here in the West Virginia swimming world. 1 second away from breaking a state record, which would be kind of incredible because no one ever thought that one would go. And we did have a swimmer fall in the water, and don't worry, he gets a swim, and I don't think he gets DQ'd for that. Looks like Carter Zuliani of Buchanan Upshur with the slight lead. But after the turn, Grant Ridenour of George Washington. And coming on strong is Jacob Howe, and it's going to be Jacob Howe at the first place. Literally 0.2 of a second separates first through third. And it could come down to that for Carter Zuliani. Hopefully it doesn't mean that that's the difference between sixth or seventh, but that could be the difference between sixth or seventh today.
Okay, Heat 3, we have Luke Lunsford lane 1, Josh Thomason lane 2, Jacob Lee lane 3, Owen Leary lane 4, Isaac Anger lane 5, Braxton Perry lane 6, Declan Hall lane 7, and Caleb Soul in lane 8.
All right. All right, looks like Owen Leary on the start, Owen Leary on the turn. It's like coming home. He didn't leave this one in doubt. He's taking a full body length away, and he's in the 21s. What I will say, that 21-23 is the closest anyone has seen Tim Squires' 50-yard freestyle record. So maybe we might see a couple records that people never thought could be broken in the afternoon time.
Again, we're going to have a break here in between the 50 free and the 100 butterfly. So stick with us. We'll have some interesting information coming your way soon, and then we'll get right back to it with event 10.
It looks like in the medal round for the 50-yard freestyle, and please make this unofficial because the seconds are within like tenths. So and I'm using my scratch time here with the pen and paper. But it looks like Jackson Dirth of Parkersburg South of the first heat, he will be going on to the medal round. Carter Zuliani of Buchanan Upshur, Jacob Howe of Robert C. Byrd, Grant Ridenour of George Washington, Owen Leary of Wheeling Park, and Isaac Anger of Elkins. Looks like those 6 will be in the medal round. And here shortly, I will update the close team standings. All right, so I'm going to update the team standings after the 200-yard freestyle. That's all I have at the moment. But after the 200-yard freestyle, it looked like it has a 10-point lead between Bridgeport and Parkersburg South. It has now shrunk to a 4-point Bridgeport lead. Huntington had a 20-point deficit from Bridgeport. They are now at about 15 points away from Bridgeport. Robert C. Bird, this is projections that goes with the 200 medley performance today, the 200 free performance today. Everything else is based on seat time. Robert C. Bird still 20 points behind. They were 23 points behind. And then Parkersburg is now 29 points behind, and they came in 24. When I get the 200 individual medley and the 50-yard freestyle, I'll be able to update exactly who's going to go to the medal round again, and then I will also update who is going to be in the consolation finals. But so far we're seeing a lot of fast swims today. Lots of time dropping. This one is not as predictable as the girls' meet today, where 89% of the top six were the top six. This has not been the case all the way through today. All right. So, I do have the 200-yard individual medley. As I said before, Randy Keener of Bridgeport will be, he's going to the medal round, seated first. Bradley Boyd of Hurricane, seated second. Nick Lugo of Jefferson, seated third. Noah Segrist of Spring Mills, seated fourth. Matthew Smith of Charleston Catholic, seated fifth. And Reese Allen of Bridgeport, seated sixth. Those six guys will be going on. And for Bridgeport, this helps because Reese Allen is in the top six. So that really does help. He can finish no lower than sixth. So that really does help out Bridgeport in that. Cardi Ramsey of Parkersburg is number 7. We'll be going to the consolation finals along with Preston Householder of Morgantown, Ian Sasson of Parkersburg, Landon Fowler of Parkersburg South, Aiden Riley of Sissonville, and Zach Rebus of University. So those 6 names that I just called, they will be going to the consolation finals of the 200-yard individual medley. For the boys, 50-yard freestyle. So going to the medal finals is going to be Owen Leary, really dangerously close, or one of the closest I've seen to breaking Tim Squires' 50-yard freestyle record. Seated first, Jackson Dirth of Parkersburg South, seated second. Jacob Howell, Robert C. Bird, seated third. Grant Ridenauer of George Washington, seated fourth. Isaac Anger of Elkins, seated fifth. And Carter Zuliani of Buchanan Upshur, seated sixth. Both Isaac Anger and Carter Zuliani are freshmen, so they've got many a state meet that they're gonna only get better from here. In the consolation finals, we've got Luke Adkins of Huntington High School. We got Jacob Lee of Cabell Midland. We've got Alex Treacy of Huntington High School. We've got Christopher Schumacher of Notre Dame. We've got Josh Thomason of Washington and Bill Triplett of South Charleston. Those 6 are going to be in the consolation finals. Here shortly, I will have the updated team projections. All right. So, based after the 50-yard freestyle, Bridgeport, Parkersburg South tied. Again, Bridgeport came in 10 points ahead. Projected-wise, now Bridgeport and Parkersburg South are tied. 18 points behind Huntington. Then we've got 25 points behind Robert C. Byrd, and then 33 points behind Parkersburg. And what was once, and actually let's look up. We got Wheeling. George Washington is even creeping up in this conversation a little bit. So we got to watch out for George Washington and Wheeling Park.
So in event 10, the boys 100-yard butterfly, we're going to have in heat 1, lane 1, Evan Large, lane 2, Will Buchanan, lane 3, Brandon Workman, lane 4, Noah Segrist, lane 5, Zach Groh, lane 6, Jaden Starks, lane 7, Josiah Corley, lane 8, Zach Granada.
All right.
Like we're getting a little closer to getting started.
Again, Noah Segrist seated 3rd coming into this event, and Zach Groh of George Washington seated 6th. Noah Segrist is from Spring Mills. And then I have noticed something here at the state swim meet that's new-ish. It looks like the trend of cupping has become kind of a trend here. So if you'll see some of these swimmers, they'll look like they've got gigantic circle bruises on them. And they get that from Michael Phelps. That's a training technique. Some people use a flame cup, and they'll put it on. And that's supposed to, as it eases off, more blood flow will go to that muscle, according to the Michael Phelps science. This is a relatively new phenomenon. I've not really seen it, but I've seen it a lot more this state meet than I've ever swam. Some people don't use the fire, as that's really kind of extremely dangerous. So they use silicone. So sometimes there's a special silicone suction that will actually do the same thing without actually having to light it up. But that's why you'll see. I've seen quite a few swimmers with, and they look like circle bruises. And I don't know if you could see that quite on the camera view that we have, but they didn't get hurt or anything like that. It's just a new wave of training from. They got it from Michael Phelps.
I tell you, these breaks always feel way longer than they say they're going to be when we're waiting.
They do.
That's good for the swimmers, but maybe not good for the live streamers.
That's right. Well, and sometimes it's not actually good for the swimmers because the swimmers are just ready to go, and they've got to sit there and figure out how they're going to go. Looks like we're getting ready to start. All right. Looks like Brandon Workman of Cabell Midland takes the slight lead off the start. Noah Segrist. It actually looks like Zach Groh of George Washington and Noah Segrist neck to neck. This race in particular is a lot tighter than it was seeded. As Noah Segrist is now starting to pull ahead a little bit, but it's still pretty close. It's going to depend on this turn. How far can we get underwater? It looks like Noah Segrist will pull it out, but the race really is for second between Brandon Workman of Cabell Midland and Zach Rowe of George Washington. And it looks like Workman of Cabell Midland will finish second, and Zach Rowe will finish third. Again, these times today on the guys' side, part of it is I think we're swimming in the evening, and you're a lot more rested than having to get up at 8:30 in the morning. But we're seeing a lot of really fast times from the top 12 today.
Heat 2 is going to see Enyan Kamani in lane 1, Zach Rivas in lane 2, Caden Odreko in lane 3, Nick Lugo lane 4, Mason Tichano in lane 5, Anthony Ott lane 6, Andrews Aiden in lane 7, and Max Hill in lane 8.
All right, it looks like on the start, Nick Lugo. It looks like Anthony Ott of Parkersburg South is currently in second. But it's a tight race between Anthony Ott, Mason T. Chanel, and Caden Andreko from Wheeling Central. Nick Lugo is probably looking for about a 50, 51. And it looks like, oh, that's so close. But Mason T. Chanel of Bridgeport pulls it out. Caden Andreko, and then Anthony Ott. 0.6 of a second separates second through fourth. So 0.6 of a second separates who's going to get a medal and who's going to be in the consolation finals, probably.
In Heat 3, you're going to have Braxton Kenny in lane 1, Will Hamrick lane 2, Carter Redelman in lane 3, Henry Shields in lane 4, Josh Thomason in lane 5, Luke Anger in lane 6, Maddox Rader in lane 7, and Ben LaPole in lane 8.
All right. All right. Henry Shields with a nice tight dives. 3/4 of the way is leading the way, first place. It looks like Josh Thomason has a slight edge over Carter Redelman and Luke Anger. Henry Shields with a 50.67. Takes first. Carter Redelman at a 55.02. All right, looks like we've got Henry Shields, Nick Lugo, Noah Segrist. They're going to the medal finals, as is Carter Redelman.
Event 12, boys 100-yard freestyle in lane 1, Grant Shale. Lane 2, Ethan Bryan. Lane 3, Grant Broadhurst. Lane 4, Jacob Howell. Luke Atkins in 5. Keon McClure in 6. Jackson Howe in 7. And Caleb Satterfield in 8.
It looks like we got Henry Shields, Carter Redelman, Nick Lugo, Zach Rowe, Noah Segrist, and Brandon Workman. Those look like to be your medal finalists. And here in this event, in the 100-yard freestyle, Jacob Howe with a slight lead over Luke Atkins. Ethan Bryant coming on actually it's like Grant Shell of Wheeling Park in lane 1. Grant Shell of Wheeling Park came in here seated 24th, and he might pull it out at the end. A spirited finish from Grant Shell.
Heat 2 is going to see Justin Gottlieb in lane 1, Connor Roberts in lane 2, Jackson Dirth lane 3, Bradley Boyd in lane 4, Grant Ridenour in lane 5, Ricardo Valentine and Grant in lane 6, Spencer Lefebvre in lane 7, and Caleb Soul in lane 8.
And some people might be lucky the scratch that we had in that heat. He was seated 12th, so somebody should probably thank that scratch. They might end up going to the second day over that. Out in front, we've got Jackson Dirth. All right, we got a close race between Bradley Boyd, Jackson Dirth, and Grant Ridenauer.
Heat 3 is going to see Griffin Biggs in lane 1, Carter Zuliani in lane 2, Jacob Lee in lane 3, Owen Leary in lane 4, Abram Bias in lane 5, Danny Anderson lane 6, Brian Noe in lane 7, and Thomas Hemsworth in lane 8.
All right. Owen Leary out in front. Owen Leary with a commanding lead of Wheeling Park. And off the turn, we've got Abram Bias, Jacob Lee, and Carter Zuliani. Oh, shoot. All right, I got the consolation finals from the boys 100-yard butterfly. We've got Josh Thomason of Washington High School. We've got Caden Andreco, Wheeling Central Catholic. Mason T. Chanel of Bridgeport. Anthony Odd of Parkersburg South. Luke Anger of Elkins. And Will Hamrick of George Washington. Those 6 will be going in the consolation finals. In the medal finals for the boys 100-yard butterfly, we've got Henry Shields seated first, Nick Lugo seated second, Noah Segrist seated third, Carter Redelman seated fourth, Brandon Workman seated fifth, and Zach Groh seated sixth.
Event 14 is going to be the boys 500-yard freestyle. In lane 1, Josh McPherson. Lane 2, Kelly Rydell. Lane 3, Max Hill. Lane 4, Preston Householder. Lane 5, Cardi Ramsey. Lane 6, Christopher Young. Lane 7, Jack Grant. And lane 8, Matt Bandler. You got Kelly Rydell from Wheeling Central and Preston Householder neck and neck for first, about a quarter of the way through the race.
Preston Householder with a commanding lead in the 500-yard freestyle.
At the halfway point, Preston Householder's in first, Cardi Ramsey's in second, and Kelly Rydell's in third.
All right. So in the medal round for the 100-yard freestyle, as I said before, we got Owen Leary of Wheeling Park, Bradley Boyd of Hurricane, Jacob Howell of Robert C. Byrd, Grant Ridenauer of George Washington, Luke Atkins of Huntington High School, and then Jackson Dirth rounding it out. Then in the consolation finals, we've got Abram Bias of Winfield, Jacob Lee of Cabell Midland, Carter Zuliani of Buchanan Upshur, Keon McClure of Huntington, Danny Anderson of Spring Valley, and then Connor Roberts of Parkersburg South. Updating you on the projected team standings. After the 100-yard butterfly, Parkersburg South now went from 10 points behind to 7 points up over Bridgeport. And then that now puts Huntington not 19 points behind Bridgeport, but 19 points behind Parkersburg South. And then Robert C. Byrd is now 26 points behind Parkersburg South. And then Parkersburg 34.
There's the bell lap for Preston Householder. He's in first. Cardi Ramsey's heading towards second with 1 lap to go. And Kelly Rydell's holding third position currently.
All right.
Cardi Ramsey comes in second, dropping 8 seconds. And there's Kelly Rydell from Wheeling Central coming in third. And he dropped about 8.5 seconds.
Wow. Now the 500s, it is a little bit easier to drop some time, but still it's impressive.
That's right. But while we're giving credit, we should say that Preston Householder dropped 9 seconds. So it's
right.
just going around everywhere.
Yep. Second drops all around.
In Heat 2, you'll have Charlie Smoke in lane 1, Morgan Miller in lane 2, Ethan Waldeck in lane 3, Preston Bennett lane 4, Blake Embry in lane 5, Caden Megan in lane 6, Brendan Villot in lane 7, and Nick Barney in lane 8. Looks like we've got a swimmer going back for a lost cap.
That's right.
And then we'll get started with Heat 2.
And thank goodness that swimmer didn't have tons of hair, because that's when it gets really hard. Whenever you lose your cap and you've got tons of hair going, that's when you really lose.
Preston Bennett's out to an early lead over the rest of the field.
All right. Updating the projected team standings. So Parkersburg South now has a 12-point lead over Bridgeport. Then a 21-point lead over Huntington, a 31-point lead over Robert C. Byrd, and a 39-point lead over Parkersburg. Again, these aren't the actual scores. This is just projected based on their times from the 100-yard freestyle and before, and then what their seed time is from the 500-yard freestyle and after.
In our current race, Preston Bennett has a really huge lead, followed by in second place we'll have Lake Embry from Morgantown and Caden Megan from R.C. Byrd.
This is an event where Robert C. Byrd, Parkersburg, and Morgantown have put a lot of their swimmers in the top, and they're hoping that those swimmers will score points tomorrow and qualify for tomorrow. So. And there's the bell. And again, for those that did not tune in earlier or hear the bell with the previous heat, the bell means that the first swimmer is on their last lap. And you can even hear the officials say this is a bell-timed event.
There's Preston Bennett taking first, dropping 3 or 4 seconds off his seed time. And Lake Embry from Morgantown is going to take second. Followed by Caden Megan from RC Byrd and Ethan Waldeck from Wheeling Park. Heat 3 is going to have Joey Sechrist in lane 1, Levi Parker in lane 2, Adam Fubio lane 3, Frankie McCutcheon lane 4, Lucian Baumgartner lane 5, Max Young in lane 6, Logue Shriver in lane 7, and Killian Coster in lane 8.
Looks like it's Frankie McCutcheon on the start. Looks like Frankie McCutcheon has a commanding lead. Lucian Baumgartner right behind. And Adam Fubio.
Frankie McCutcheon still got the lead, a little past halfway. Lucian Baumgartner is currently in second. And then Adam Fubio from RCB has about a body length lead in third. There's the bell lap for Frankie McCutcheon as he heads into the final lap in the race. Lucian Baumgartner still in second, and Fubio is still in third, holding most positions where they've been most of the race. And Frankie McCutcheon finishes up with a 4:54.
Of course, this race is a little bit hard to judge your pace whenever there's people in all sorts of different directions.
And Lucian drops about 12 seconds to finish in second. And there's Adam Fubio finishing third. And he dropped about 6 seconds. Max Young in fourth.
All right.
I think we're going to have a 5-minute break between the end of the 500 and the beginning of the 200 free relay.
Absolutely. And it looks like in the medal round for the 500, we definitely have Frankie McCutcheon, Preston Bennett right behind. Looks like we got Preston Householder. Then Lucian Baumgartner. Cardi Ramsey. And Luke Embry, it looks like. So those six, Preston Householder, Cardi Ramsey, Preston Bennett, Luke Embry, Frankie McCutcheon, Lucian Baumgartner. Those are the top six coming in. Those are going to be the top six that'll get to do the medal round tomorrow.
Hey, we're going back in time. We're going back in time.
And this relay is going to be huge because this is the one where Robert C. Byrd is seated first and really needs this for their state championship bid. You got Huntington that's really trying to get into the top heat. Because currently Huntington is seated, I believe Huntington's seated about 10th or so. So they're really trying to get high up in the medal round so that way they could get there. And they could. The difference between all these relays is not by much. You got about 2 seconds difference from all of the relays. So this is the one. This is kind of the big one. Because there's some that are kind of seated way outside that if they could really push themselves in the top 12, could really help change the state standings. I will say that Buchanan Upshur so far on the guys' side has really turned it around. They've improved themselves by 23 points on the state meet. So they came in here seeded with their seed times, projected to get 45 points and about 11th place. And now they are projected to finish 9th with 68 points. So that's so far they're having quite a big day.
Yeah. Well, as we get ready for the 200 freestyle relay, in lane 2 will be Grafton, lane 3 Cabell Midland, lane 4 Parkersburg South, lane 5 Parkersburg, lane 6 Capital, and lane 7 University.
All right. So again, as I said before, and I'll probably say, and people are going to probably call me a broken record, no team has won the state meet without having 3 relays in the top 7. No team, boys, girls, ever have finished without their relay finishing 7th. Something to look out for in this race.
A couple flinches.
What's up?
Saw a couple flinches there, but it may not have been enough to draw the attention.
Well, we do see the officials coming by, so usually they'll double check, but
yeah.
And it looks like University, Frankie McCutcheon in the lead. But now Parkersburg South is in the lead. Parkersburg is right behind. Both of them. And University's still in this. Parkersburg still trying to hold on to second. Surging is Grafton, Cabell Midland in lanes 2 and 3. And University still trying to hold on for that strong start by Frankie McCutcheon. Oh no, Cabell Midland. Making it a lot closer for second place. On the turn, it looks like Ethan Metz of Parkersburg pulls out that nice streamlined turn. Now,
In Heat 2, we're going to have Winfield in lane 2, Huntington lane 3, Wheeling Park in lane 4, Buchanan Upshur lane 5, Spring Mills in lane 6, and Bridgeport in lane 7.
And the good news for the rest of the heats, a couple of the heats they didn't. We've seen a lot of hefty time jumps, hefty time drops. We only saw that with Parkersburg South on that one. So, and University dropped 5 seconds, but that really helps out Huntington here because their seed time is not that far from everybody else's. So. And the lead is Alex Triersey of Huntington High School. Again, Huntington has something extra on the line. This is the one that they're going to want to make sure that they get. Currently, Huntington's still in the lead. Right beside Huntington is Wheeling Park and Buchanan Upshur, and right now this is a three-way race, just as close as their seed times. But Wheeling Park pulling slightly ahead, but on the dive, Keon McClure of Huntington. This is the one. Buchanan Upshur takes a commanding lead, but Huntington neck and neck. This turn might, let's see what's going to happen on this turn. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Coming on strong is Owen Leary of Wheeling Park. Oh, and he out touches. It looks like what a close race between Wheeling Park and Buchanan Upshur, but Owen Leary just edges out Preston Bennett. Owen Leary of Wheeling Park, Preston Bennett of Buchanan Upshur. But Huntington, good news for Huntington is that they dropped way ahead, so currently, Huntington is seeded 4th going into the final heats. So,
Heat 3 is going to see East Fairmont in lane 2, Elkins lane 3, Robert C. Byrd in lane 4, George Washington lane 5, Jefferson in lane 6, and Wheeling Central in lane 7.
this is the one. All right, Robert C. Byrd, Kaden McGon. Has a, Jefferson's Justin Gottlieb and Kaden McGon and Robert C. Byrd. Neck and neck. Looks like Jefferson made some switches over there, which is what you do in relays. A lot of people do relay switches. So right now, Jefferson in lane 6 is currently leading Robert C. Byrd by just a touch. It looks like Adam Fubio. And now coming on strong is Zach Grove from George Washington. Looks like that relay switch from Jefferson is paying off as they are currently narrowly in the lead. It goes Jefferson, George Washington, Robert C. Byrd. And this race is close. But Jefferson in the lead. Here it goes. Oh my goodness. And Robert C. Byrd finishes second. Jefferson finishes first.
We're going to have another 5-minute break after that relay before we head into the backstroke.
All right, now it looks like with that Jefferson relay switch really held out Huntington from being in the top 6. But it is Jefferson. Then it's Parkersburg South. Then we've got Wheeling Park. Buchanan Upshur, Robert C. Byrd, George Washington. Those 6 relays will be going into the medal rounds. Again, Parkersburg South, Wheeling Park, Buchanan Upshur, Robert C. Byrd, George Washington, and Jefferson. Those 6 relays will be going into the medal rounds tomorrow, narrowly edging out Huntington and a few others. I do have, for the 500-yard freestyle, Frankie McCutcheon going to the medal rounds, seated first. Then we have Preston Bennett, and only about 9/10 of a second separates Frankie McCutcheon and Preston Bennett. So for those loving the 500, that's going to be a close race between those two. Preston Householder is third, also in the medal round. Lucian Baumgartner of Parkersburg, fourth. Cardi Ramsey, fifth. Luke Embry of Morgantown, seated sixth. So those 6 will go on to the medal rounds of the 500-yard freestyle. Then Adam Fubio of Robert C. Byrd, Caden McGon of Robert C. Byrd. These are going to be the consolation finals. Max Yang of George Washington, Ethan Waldeck of Wheeling Park, Levi Parker of Wheeling Park, and Kelly Rydell of Wheeling Central Catholic. Those 6 are going to be in the consolation finals. And again, we want to save some room for the 100-yard backstroke. Some of the 100-yard backstrokers are in the relays. In the consolation finals of the 200-yard freestyle relay, we've got Huntington High School, Elkins High School, Parkersburg High School, Cabell Midland High School, Capital High School, and University. For the boys 200-yard freestyle, Jefferson High School is seated first with their relay switch. They are seated first, and they'll be in the medal round. as will Parkersburg South High School, Wheeling Park High School, Buchanan Upshur High School, Robert C. Byrd High School, and George Washington High School. Those 6 schools will be in the medal round. And here shortly I will have the updated team standings. Looks like the back.
Okay, in the 100 backstroke, in lane 1, we'll have Sam Giovanni. Lane 2, Zach Falchcraft. Lane 3, Aiden Riley. Lane 4, Zach Groh. Lane 5, Bill Triplett. Lane 6, Will Hamrick. Jacob Donnelly in 7, and Gage Fox in 8.
All right.
Zach Groh out to an early lead, but it's pretty tight at the first turn.
Zach Groh taking a pretty big commanding lead. Right behind Zach Groh, we've got Bill Triplett of South Charleston. And then Aiden Riley of Sissonville. Followed by Will Hamrick of George Washington. And now Will Hamrick of George Washington is pulling ahead. Is now seated second. He might do this. It's a close race for second between Triplett and Hamrick. It looks like Hamrick will pull it out. Triplett finishes third.
In Heat 2, we'll have Braden Williams in lane 1, Colson Parker lane 2, Anthony Ott in lane 3, Quade Harris in lane 4, Will Angus in 5, Brandon Workman in 6, Braxton Kenny in 7, and Jack Grant in 8.
All right. Quade Harris with a nice start. Anthony Ott, Parkersburg, not too far behind. And Brandon Workman of Capital Midland has a narrow lead for second, and it looks like Anthony Ott of Parkersburg pulls it out after that turn. And coming on strong, Quade Harris is going to win this heat easily, but the real battle is between second, and we're playing, and on this turn, on this instance, Brandon Workman of Capital Midland is outworking Anthony Ott. And you can hear right beside me probably is Quade Harris's mother, who is super excited. It's got the picture of Quade right there. All right, so we've got Quade Harris first with a 1.5 second drop. Second, we got Brandon Workman of Cabell Midland.
Heat 3 is going to have Logan Stewart in lane 1, Carter Southern in lane 2, Ryan Spears in lane 3, Randy Keener lane 4, Carter Ruddleman in lane 5, Hawk Maynard in lane 6, Declan Hall in lane 7, and Connor Nelson in lane 8.
Looks like Randy Keener of Bridgeport. Again, Randy Keener of Bridgeport's trying to get that elusive record that's kept him from David Snyder. And he's going to cruise in this heat easily. As is Carter Meadow, he's going to finish second easily. He's been dying to do that. Ever since his freshman year, when David Snyder reached over to him and said, hey, you're going to break this record one day. I'm sure Randy Keener thought it was going to go a lot quicker, but today he can finally rejoice, and I know come finals he's going to want to break it even more, so that way he can do that. But what a wonderful swim. It's not often that you have records broken in prelims, but he's been eyeing that.
Event 20 is going to be the 100-yard breaststroke, and Heat 1 will have Sean Lee in lane 1, Holden Marsh lane 2, Spencer Lefebvre in lane 3, Reese Allen in lane 4, Ishan Hadi in lane 5, Christopher Schumacher lane 6, Miller Mullins in lane 7, and Michael Hajis in lane 8.
Reese Allen with a 3/4 of a way start on the breaststroke. And currently leads the field by a whole lap, and it's close. But it looks like Ishan Hadi of Washington and Spencer Lefebvre, two teammates from Washington. They are battling for second and probably bragging rights on the team. Reese Allen of Bridgeport's going to win this one easily. And it looks like Ishan Hadi
Heat 2 is going to have Brandon Villot in lane 1, Kelly Rydell in lane 2, Andrew Kirk in lane 3, Matthew Smith lane 4, Brian Go in lane 5, Thomas Hemsworth in lane 6, Will Raines lane 7, and Cooper Simpson in lane 8.
All right. Matthew Smith of Charleston Catholic and Brian Nago leading the way. Looks like Brian Nago and Andrew Kirk. Andrew Kirk of Parkersburg South, narrowly pulling ahead of Brian Nago. It's a close race for second. It looks like Andrew Kirk of Parkersburg South will do it.
Heat 3 is going to have Gray Miller in lane 1, Reese Leonard in lane 2, Landon Fowler in lane 3, Isaac Anger in lane 4, Ian Sasson lane 5, Maddox Rader lane 6, Luke Lanham in lane 7, and Carter Matthews in lane 8.
All right. Looks like it's a close race between Isaac Anger, Ian Sasson, and Landon Fowler. On the turn, it looks like Ian Sasson on the turn. And currently it's Ian Sasson. First place. He and Isaac Anger are, this might be one of the surprises of the meet so far. Because I don't think anyone saw this one coming. Isaac Anger just narrows it out. But what a swim by Ian Sasson. All right. Okay. So I do apologize. I forgot to tell you who's in the medal round for the backstroke. I got caught up. The backstroke and breaststroke always go really fast, so I didn't quite make it there. But in the backstroke medal round, we've got Randy Keener of Bridgeport, Quade Harris of Parkersburg South, Carter Rettleman of Morgantown, Zach Groh of George Washington, Brandon Workman of Cabell Midland, and Anthony Ott of Parkersburg South. Those 6 are the medal races for the 100-yard backstroke. And then the consolation finals, freshmen from George Washington, Will Hamrick, Ryan Spears, Weir High School, Bill Triplett, South Charleston, Will Angus, Grafton High School. Aiden Riley, Sissonville. And Hawk Maynard, Huntington High School.
Let's go, Garrett!
Now our last event of the day will be the boys 400-yard freestyle relay. In Heat 1, we'll have Capital in lane 2, Capital Midland in lane 3, Huntington lane 4, Parkersburg lane 5, George Washington lane 6, and Spring Mills in lane 7.
And it looks like in the boys 100-yard breaststroke, we've got Reese Allen going to the medal round, the only one from the first heat. We got Andrew Kirk of Parkersburg South, Matthew Smith of Charleston Catholic, Mariah Nago of Notre Dame, Isaac Anger and Ian Sasson. Those 6 look like they are going to be going towards the medal rounds of the 100-yard breaststroke. Remember, tropical smoothie. I know, all of them have to swim a minute, under a minute.
Again, here in event 22, it'll be Capital in lane 2, Capital Midland lane 3, Huntington lane 4, Parkersburg lane 5, George Washington lane 6, and Spring Mills lane 7.
Let's go, Garrett!
Heat 1's off to a start, and Huntington High, when Henry Shields goes out to an early lead.
All right. So far, Luke Atkins of Huntington High School taking a commanding lead. All right. Keon McClure. Looks like Parkersburg has a brief lead for second over Cabell Midland. And Spring Mills not too far behind. And it's still Huntington, Parkersburg, Cabell Midland, Spring Mills, George Washington. George Washington and Spring. All right. Still, Cabell Midland has separated themselves from the pack at third so far. And still the race is between. Looks like Capital is pulling slightly ahead of Spring Mills and George Washington, but they're very close. Capital fourth. George Washington, Spring Mills dive at the same time. Looks like Capitals gaining a slight lead over their fourth and fifth place counterparts. And Huntington does drop 4 seconds to finish first. Parkersburg does drop 2 seconds to finish second.
In Heat 2, we'll have Musselman in lane 2, Jefferson lane 3, Robert C. Byrd in lane 4, Wheeling Park in lane 5, Elkins lane 6, Hedgesville lane 7.
There we go. All right. Looks like in the lead we got Justin Gottlieb of Jefferson. It's a very close race. You got Gottlieb. Then you've got Robert C. Byrd. And Wheeling Park. Fourth place looks to be Musselman. Just barely. Oh, sorry. Fourth place looks like it's actually Hedgesville. With Musselman fifth. All right, looks like Robert C. Byrd has a narrow lead. Jefferson's Griffin Hollowitz is trying to Pull it out. And it looks like Robert C. Bird in the lead, Jefferson second, Wheeling Park third, and a tight race for fourth. And now Robert C. Bird pulling out majorly ahead. Still the race for fourth. Looks like it's the fourth place is going to come down to the anchor. Robert C. Bird looks like they got a pretty good lead. Wheeling Park dives in right behind them. Come on, Mickey. All right. All right, here it comes. And Owen Leary edges out Jacob Lowe.
Heat 3 is going to have Brook in lane 2, Morgantown lane 3, Bridgeport lane 4, Parkersburg South lane 5, Wheeling Central lane 6, and Washington lane 7.
And before this last relay goes, finishing the consolation finals for the 100-yard breaststroke, Landon Fowler, Parkersburg South, Reese Leonard, Buchanan Upshur, Eshawn Hattie, Washington, Spencer Lefebvre, Washington, Thomas Hemsworth, George Washington, Christopher Schumacher, Notre Dame. Those are all of your consolation finals. In the medal round of the 100-yard breaststroke, you got Matthew Smith, Charleston Catholic, Isaac Anger, Elkins, Ian Sasson, Parkersburg, Reese Allen, Bridgeport, Andrew Kirk, Parkersburg South, and Ryan DeGo, Notre Dame. Quay Harris takes the lead. Mason T. Chanel catching up. So far, Parkersburg South in the lead. All right. So far, Parkersburg South still in the lead. Bridgeport not too far behind. Followed by Morgantown. Oh man, this is close. Oh, on this turn. There it goes. Yep. Randy Keener on the turn.
When they look like they're galloping, you know they're moving fast.
That's right.
Eight.
All right. So you like at the consolation finals of the 400-yard freestyle, we got Bridgeport, Parkersburg South, Huntington, Robert C. Byrd, Wheeling Park, and Jefferson. So again, Huntington, Jefferson, Robert C. Byrd, Wheeling Park, Bridgeport, Parkersburg South. Those would be the 6 relay teams going to the medal rounds. We're going to await a couple more results, and then we'll update some team results here shortly.
I know. It did not go to waste.
And I am frantically trying to update a spreadsheet as I talk, so I do apologize.
Great job today, guys.
Okay. So before the 400-yard freestyle, it's looking like Parkersburg South now is projected to get 150 points. That's 25 more points than they were projected to come in. And they have a 21-point lead over Bridgeport. Then they have a 28-point lead over Huntington. Again, you have to solve this in the water tomorrow, but that's the top three. Now, coming on strong, like I said before a couple while ago, now in fourth place in projected team standings is George Washington. However, they are a little bit further behind now. They are now 52 points behind. Then we've got Parkersburg at 55 points. Then we've got Robert C. Byrd at 61 points behind. And then Buchanan Upshur, who almost doubled their projected points at 7th.
Impressive.
So Buchanan Upshur, yeah, they may not be in the top 5, but they really turned it on at the end. So again, these are just projected standings. Parkersburg South, again, sometimes you have to worry too, and this is the same thing that Morgantown coach and Parkersburg South coach are going to probably be telling them. You don't, just because you had a good meet on the prelims day, doesn't guarantee that you have a good meet on finals day. So they're going to go home, they're going to figure out how they're going to have a good meet. Just like George Washington, they're going to figure out a way on the girls' side how they're going to have a better meet than they kind of did today. So I have the 400 freestyle relays. All right. All right, so going to the consolation finals. Cabell Midland, Elkins High School, Wheeling Central Catholic, Washington, Parkersburg, Morgantown. All 6 of those schools going to the consolation finals. In the medal finals, we've got Jefferson, we've got Robert C. Byrd, we've got Wheeling Park, Parkersburg South, Huntington, Bridgeport. Give me a second. I will update the final team standings. All right. All right. So, after the meet is over here, I have now the new projected standings. So, Parkersburg South projected with 152 points. Right behind Parkersburg South is Bridgeport, 129. So they're about 23 points behind, still manageable. We saw that today with Morgantown and George Washington. Then right behind Bridgeport is Huntington. They have 124 points. They are 28 points behind. Then George Washington pulling ahead from 6th to 4th with 96 points. Parkersburg going down from 111 to 87. They're 5th, and they're actually tied for 5th with Wheeling Park. And Buchanan Upshur 1 point right behind them, and then followed by Robert C. Byrd. So 87, 87, 86, 83 points. And then Morgantown shortly right after, and then Jefferson rounds out the top 10 projected. So lots of movement. Tonight on Swim WV, you'll be able to see what I'm looking at here live. And I thank you for the broadcast, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Would you go ahead and do a little send-off and say who you are? And
This has been Andrew Colvin and
James Miller from Swim WV. And I am trading Mr. Colvin tomorrow for video productions.
and a player to be named later.
And a player to be named later, yes. Thank you all so much, and I'm glad that you got... I'll put this on the site, and I'll be like... wait, do we do it this way?
Oh, no, here we go.
I don't know what the swim off here. Look at these, figure out where the swim off is. I think we're swimming for an alternate. I don't even think this is for real. Figure out there's a hyphen for where the swim off is. I had literally no clue. Can we put...
It's Grant. Whatever Grant is now.
It says we're streaming, but I don't know if we're truly live on his streaming.
Okay. I had no idea.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, we are having a swim off, though we're not entirely sure which one it is. We apologize, we ended the stream. Nobody told us that we were going to be having a swim off.
I believe this is for an alternate. And it's obviously a freestyle, so it's either going to be a 50 or 100 yards freestyle. We'll see here in a second. Okay, we apologize. I had no clue. I actually had no idea what two people this was. Look at Grant Shaw. Alright, so this is a 50-yard freestyle. Grant Shaw does a swim off. Alright, so on the 50 freestyle. Okay, so what ended up happening here? This is the swim off for the second alternate spot. So they just ran for a second alternate spot. So it looks like if two people cannot perform because of illness, Griffin Biggs of Pikeview is going to be in the consolation prize.
Wow.
That's what that was.
Okay, that was great, because we never thought anything like that would happen.
So again, there's your little bonus race. I know some of you really love the 50 freestyle. You got a little bonus race.
So we'll say thank you yet again.